Hello everyone, you're welcome to the Round Table. On the Round Table, we dissect topical political issues affecting the polity and present them to you, our audience. And with that, I welcome you to this beautiful episode of the Round Table. We analyze happenings in the polity and break down political matters trending for the week. I have with me Ahmed Fateh to my left and Mohamed Lawal to my right. Good afternoon, guys. You're always smiling and looking very handsome. If I was a man, I would marry. Sorry, if I was a woman, I would marry you.
Fateh is one, so you know.
Auntie, rich man. How are you, Hamid?
I'm doing very
You are looking down. Are you the economy?
I'm looking as like what I'm going through.
Wow. Are you in the humanitarian ministry?
Unfortunately not.
All right.
Unfortunately.
All right. Our topics for the day. We gave you in some seconds earlier. We're going to be talking about the humanitarian ministry and the scandal that have enveloped that ministry. Remember that we are not new to scandals with that ministry. It happened with the former minister. The current minister is equally in some very hot waters. Secondly, we're talking about the president and his orders. What particular orders? Recently, he ordered 60% reduction in personnel for official trips. I'll be dissecting this issue as well. Why didn't this come earlier? When are we bringing in this new policy and extending it into other sectors, into other ministries, looking around, looking into the ministries and looking at what we can cutting down our spending, reducing the amount we spend frivolously. We'll be going into that. And lastly, we'll be talking about the CBN and what Mr. Yemi Cardozo is doing. He has sacked 3 bank boards in recent hours. Yesterday evening, boom, the news came to us all that the CBN governor had done what some of his predecessors has done in the past. Very quickly, let's begin from the humanitarian ministry. Mohamed Lawal, last week you were here. Waxing lyrical, telling us about how the young ministers were doing well. And I remember you made mention of Miss Betta. And I remember I was asking you what your definition of doing well was. And you said, wasn't it obvious that you were doing well? My brother, 7-8 days after, in fact, 2 of your ministers, because not one, 2 of your ministers are swimming in controversy. One has been drowned. The second one is still managing, to float. Let's start with Betta and the humanitarian ministry. Payment of funds into private pockets. Why did that happen? Was that meant to happen? If we did not know about it, if we don't know brought to the public for it, we definitely would not have known about it. So how did one of your fantastic ministers of last week become one of the bad, in fact, past ministers of this day?
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Last time, I told you that these people...
Young people are good people.
Young people, they are still...
The best.
They are still young. And they are waxing strong by doing what they should be doing. But it is unfortunate that the person I supported, it came out to...
And you usually don't support people in government.
All the same, we can't even fully comment on the matter because the matter is still being investigated.
Yeah.
It's still an ongoing investigation.
Yeah.
And she hasn't submitted, to siphoning the money alleged. You understand? So when
but we can pick a wrong already, and the wrong is that public funds were paid into a private pocket.
It is against the constitution. Lawyers have spoken on that it is very wrong for someone who is in governmental position to transfer money from public fund into a private account. It's very wrong. But the first thing is that if it is true, why we should do such a thing? Why should you?
If it is true, what is true?
If it is true that she transferred the money from public...
But there was evidence that she transferred it. Mohammed, this one like you. There was evidence. We saw the pictures. We saw the papers. The presidency must have done their investigation before saying, Miss Betta Edu, this is not what this admission is standing for, and you are not obeying the tenets of what we stand for. Therefore, please step aside. She was even in the villa to see the president, and according to reports, she wasn't even giving audience. She was turned back. And you are saying if it is true.
There's something, okay, let us just take it away from that. But we must understand that the president is ready to take the bull by its own, you understand? For him to have suspended her, it means that at this present administration, there is no time for, for hanky-panky, there's no time for joke or whatsoever. The president is direct. You can see that she herself, I don't know if it is fake or real, she said that she's going to, fall some head, or she's going to...
No, I think we should only stand by what is real, what we can confirm. That information has not been confirmed. It is only rumor. But what we can confirm is that she has been suspended. funds were transferred from public purse into a private account, and then the presidency and the people in the powers that be said, excuse me, this is not what we stand for. You can't be a part of us.
Very well, but I must tell you that now that she has been suspended,
Yes.
and the matter is being investigated,
Yes.
I can assure you of one thing, that the EFCC, they are going to, track this thing very well. And if she is found wanting, the next thing...
Do you work with the EFCC?
I don't work with the EFCC.
How do you know they will do it very well?
Well, you can see it that since October, since the appointment of Olukayede, you would have seen the drastic change in the institution, in the EFCC ministerial institution, you understand? You can see that, about 25 governors who were ex-ministers, or some of them are senators now and they are still ministers. You can see that all of these people, EFCC has channeled their energy into probing them. You understand? As at yesterday, Agunoye, that was the former minister of power under Olusegun Obasanjo.
Yeah.
He has been arrested, so to say, he has been detained on the matter of the Mambila project, the $6 million, $6 billion, thereabout, you understand?
Right.
So this is to tell you that Betta Edu, if she is being, the way I called it, Betta Edu or whatsoever her name is.
Betta Edu.
So it is she's going to face the wrath of the law. Many lawyers have stood up to say that if this is, fully true, we can't say that. Of course, we have seen some evidence, you understand? But however, we still have to, they still have to follow a thorough investigation by holding her fully, where there won't be any, I didn't, you understand? But after that is being done, the court will take it, and she will be detained, and she will go to Kuje prison, probably.
All right. I think Mohammed was struggling there because, I caught him by saying that just last week on the show, he was analyzing, and he said some ministers were good, fantastic ministers, especially the young ministers. And I was trying to say, hey, it's not by age. If you will do well, you will do well. If you will mess up, you mess up. But he was saying, look at the good ministers. He mentioned a few of them. 2 of them are in hot waters right now. In fact, one of them is not in hot water. She's completely underneath the water. So now my question to you, Amit, is why always the humanitarian ministry? We had the former minister in controversy. In fact, she didn't honor the EFCC at first until she saw that there's fire on the mountain.
Not even the former one alone.
And then this one.
There is one before the former one and the one before and this one also.
That's what I'm saying. The 2 of them. Oh, okay. You are referring to Betta as former.
No,
now.
I'm not referring to Betta as former.
Okay.
There is someone involved in a crime. Involved in the humanitarian ministry also before we have Sadiyat before we now have Betta Edu.
Okay.
So 3 women now involved in 3 cases in the same ministry.
But this past week have been basically about the 2.
The 2 of them.
So why always humanitarian ministry?
So the first thing I would say is that I remember today I was going through my Twitter feed and I saw one of the news that we wrote where Sadiyat said 1.9 million Nigerians are receiving 5,000 naira monthly.
Yeah.
Then this popular Twitter influencer, Larry, the one guy, said, if you are a Nigerian and if you have ever received 5,000 naira monthly, comment under this post. So when you go back and look at issues like that, you realize that that ministry is an avenue for a lot of loopholes for monies to be embezzled, to be siphoned. Why? Because the government believes that we are trying to alleviate people from poverty. We are trying to give back to the society. But at the same time, you realize that there is the need for this kind of ministry to be in existence. Why? We have IDPs. Don't forget that bandits are still disturbing people over there in the north. Don't forget that
Boko Haram.
We still have ISIS. So those things are there. So there is the need for that ministry to be able to ensure that these people are living in good condition. They are secured. They have good shelter. So now I think what should be happening right now is how that ministry can be extremely regulated, such to the extent that there would not be an opportunity for monies to be embezzled. Now, let me quickly say this. I have a contrary opinion to what
Mohammed
was saying. I really don't agree that Betta Edu has done anything wrong.
Okay.
If you look at the reports, the Betta didn't even get the money in her own account.
Yeah, it was transferred to someone else.
the Mrs. Bridget that got the account is a senior manager in the office of the Accountant General of Nigeria of Federation that was posted to the Humanitarian Ministry.
Yeah. But the question is, should such a transfer have happened?
That's it has been the system. That is the way the MDAs have been doing it for years.
Yeah.
That has been the same system.
Yeah.
So I feel like it is just a rukos to change something, and they are finding a scapegoat, and Betta is the best fit to be the scapegoat for the government.
So you assume?
I'm not assuming.
So you are landing on the point?
I'm not assuming.
On the fact you are landing on the point that, I mean, you're supporting Mohammed by saying there was nothing wrong, and it was right for money.
I didn't.
It was right.
I did't submit into.
You are lenient. You sounded like you were talking in favor.
The matter is still under investigation.
That transferring monies into personal accounts is right. Don't get me wrong.
Okay. Heavy millions. I mean,
I'm not saying that transferring money to personal accounts is right.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that Betta got to the ministry. She met a norm. She met the same thing that has been done over time before she got there. It is almost impossible for you to say that you want to what's it called? Change everything that has been happening for years, even before you got there. I mean, the years when they started doing that, maybe Betta was even still in youth service.
But are we saying that?
Do you understand?
Are we saying that?
It is not a question of Betta is embezzling. What we should be focused on is not that money that was transferred into a personal account. It should be the money that was embezzled.
From Sadiyat.
From Sadiyat down to Betta herself, because about 50 billion naira was said to have been recovered from Sadiyat.
Yes.
From in July 2020.
Yes.
And after that was recovered, this current administration have embezzled about 45 billion from that 50 billion naira that was recovered by EFCC.
The money has been depleted.
So those are the things we should be looking at. It is not even about, we cannot come back to talk about the justification of, let us ensure that monies are not transferred into private accounts. What we should be focused on is why they are embezzling our money, how they are using that ministry to siphon public funds.
Ahmed, I think the presidency must have listened to the rumors on social media, and certain files must have been asked for.
Of course.
Certain investigation must have been done. Certain investigation that some persons, probably us, don't even know about. And then, the papers are on the table, on a round table like ours. And then they must have seen some evidence that, oh my goodness, this person, this is only what they've brought out about you. What if they bring this out? What if they bring this out? Of the 50 billion that was recovered, over 40 billion.
Over 45 billion.
Is nowhere to be found. Now, these are the issues. And it wasn't looking good.
There is the Lokoja airport.
Example, the 3 million naira that was used to travel by air from Abuja to Lokoja. I don't think that journey is up to 2 hours. I've done that road several times.
Several times.
I mean, for goodness sake.
200,000 naira for flight.
I mean, there's no airport in that place. But these are the issues. But quick, let's talk about Sadiyat now. During COVID, they said, the Humanitarian Ministry said they spent some heavy 3 billion or so, to give children school feeding program. But students were not in school at that time. That is just about 2 of these things. Now, the question is, Hamid, I'm still staying with you, I'm not moving to Mohammed. Why are we in this kind of dilemma? For God's sake, why?
You see,
the Humanitarian Ministry is now the new NNPC.
What is saddening to me personally is the fact that those involved are young folks. Look at Sadiyat Umar Farouk. She's not old. She's young.
Yeah.
Look at Betta.
Yeah.
She's young.
37.
That is the questions. Those are the things we should.
No, you know why I'm not too interested in the youth thing? Because I've never been a believer in young people. No, please. There's no difference. Human beings are human beings. For me, I don't believe that Mohammed factor.
I don't believe it.
For me,
okay.
I feel like there is the need. In fact, 2 options.
Sorry, Amit. Why always humanitarian? These guys are supposed to be the closest to the people.
I said it
because
earlier.
there's a disaster. You are supposed to be the ones
there is gap. There is a gap. In fact, in case of Sadiyat, our own portfolio was even bigger Disaster management, humanitarian, poverty was. This one is just humanitarian poverty.
And poverty.
That one has disaster, has all of those things.
Yes.
There. Do you understand?
Yes.
So I'm saying that ministry has a very big gap to be able to siphon money. So what should be done is to close that gap such that there would not be a hole for them to be able to siphon.
All right, quick question to you, Mohammed. Should we scrap the humanitarian ministry? People are saying that the presidency is thinking about it. Should it be scrapped, please?
They can't do that. They should just re-strategize and they should fine-tune a way through which
they close the gap, like
Amit
said.
Can work what is being saddled to do. You understand? For instance, we have over 90 million Nigerians who are poverty-stricken.
Yeah.
You understand? And we need people.
The statistics are not good.
Yeah, so we can't just
wipe it away.
We need people who are smart, who have the
interest of the people at heart.
You understand, to do this together.
All right. Very quickly, we move to the next agenda, and that is that earlier this week, the president ordered reduction in personnel for foreign trips, 20 for himself, of course, international trips, 15 for the vice president, and 15 for the office of the first lady. Good or bad news?
15 or 5?
No, international movement. Local, I think it's 5 for the wife, 5 for the VP, but internationally 15.
To me, it is not a big deal.
Is it good news?
To me, it is not a big deal. You understand? It's not a big deal because we have.
Mohammed, is it good news?
I can't overly say it is a good news. You understand? But I've just said that it is what it is. You understand? The country, we need serious policies, to be worked on. And we need serious cost of governance to be cut. Not something at the periphery. I see this at the periphery. You understand?
True.
You understand? They tell us that you are slashing 60%. It is not generally on the cost of governance. You are not saying that you are reducing the money the senators are getting, their salaries. You are not saying that you are cutting the salary of the president. Your money is still there. You understand?
You are not cutting the number of the fleets of the president.
You are not doing.
You are not selling.
Those are serious issues. You understand? You are not saying that you are scrapping totally the office of the first lady, which is just ceremonial.
It's ceremonial.
You understand? We need something that is very serious. For instance, look at the way people. Look at the professor in the federal university. The professor earns just 500,000 naira. This is someone that we spent 35 years teaching the senators that we have today. Even if for us to have a very good country, you have to look at the areas that are very significant to the progress of the country. You understand? And contribute massively into that area. Look at education. Put money there. You understand? Cut the cost of governance and move the money into supporting whatsoever ASU wants. By making these people who are teaching, the future of Nigeria to be people who are upright. You understand? Look at, for instance, now professors, they do not take teaching seriously again. They just go there. This is not EFCC.
Are you serious?
They don't.
For what school?
In most schools in Nigeria, yeah, because
I know some schools that their professors take teaching seriously.
You understand? They just get there, really, they will go. You understand? But these students, you can see that when you look at university today, over 90% of students, they don't take school as anything.
These statistics, you are showing dangerous statistics around.
It is dangerous because the country itself is in a Waterloo. You understand? So I believe that the Mr. President should look at serious issue. I like the fact that he is suspending people who are found wanting. You understand? I like the fact that his administration is giving, let me say, in the 100%, there is a 25% green light, into ensuring that the country is going on well. But it should take serious issue. For instance, look at petrol, do something about petrol. Do something about gas.
I think he's doing something about that.
Yeah, he should do something about that. He should cut, that you just cut something at the periphery and then you make the news sensational.
So you think the president was being sensational?
We say that the news of the slash of 60% is sensational because most people they weren't aware that this is just for the traveling, stuff. You understand? They believe that we have called the government. Even if you read the news, if you are not that smart enough to pick that this is for traveling, you believe that.
But it was announced that it was for traveling.
Yeah, so I think the Mr. President should look at serious issues. You understand? All of these past president governors, who have siphoned money in the past. We have about 25 of them who are still in that the EFCC are still probing. You understand? Take these people, refund, squeeze them, get your money back, and let them serve their jail term. You understand? We shouldn't make it as if the law, is for poor people. Because when poor people, does anything, when a poor person does anything wrong, the next thing you see that before the 2 days you have seen the person in Kuje prison or you see the Kiri prison here. But when we have these big profile politicians, for instance, 45 billion naira, this is not, I'm not even saying it. It is not that I'm costing myself. I cannot make 45 billion naira in the next 30 years, to be honest.
Billion, Abi?
Billion, I'm telling you.
I don't think 60 years will be enough.
Let me say, even before like that, you understand? These are serious issues. Why would just a person who is saddled with the responsibility of saving lives, of saving people, lifting people away from poverty, you are there to siphon 45 billion naira. You just get, you've not spent 8 months or 9 months, 595 million naira transfer to public.
Fiam.
No, these are very crazy issues that the Mr. President needs to look into. You understand? It is a renewed hope, or the the kind of renewed shege. You understand?
Very quickly now, 60% slash of persons that travel with him. How can we replicate this across board, just like what he was saying? How can we, expand it to real issues, not sensational news? I mean,
supporting Mohammed on this.
I think you would do that.
Mr. President was a joker with that news.
Wow.
Yes. When I saw the news, I just smiled. I said, "This man is a joke. Does it take us for a joke as Nigerians?
He was playing a game.
Does he not take us serious? No, he should not cut it. He should leave it the way it is. No, let him leave it the way it is. What is the point of cutting it when the senator from my own federal constituency or your federal constituency is still collecting humongous amount of money and we still have terrible roads? It's still collecting constituency allowance and I can't plow the old Oyo road. I can't drive through the road.
That place is even very bad.
It is collecting constituency allowance and the road to Pade Alade from Ojo to Arulogun Axis is still very terrible. Right? What is the essence of the constituency allowances they are paying the senators, they are paying the honorable members of the House if we cannot get results? Then you are saying you want to cut the president said cost of governance. It is nonsense. It is a joke. We are not dumb.
The true cost of governance is still there.
The true cost of governance has not been cut down. We need the cost of governance to be properly cut down. If a senator is receiving about 100%, let us have a cut of 60%, and let us see. If they won't come back home, immediately they elect them into position, you will not see them in Oyo again. You will not see them in Akene local government that shares the same federal constituency with my hometown again. They will be in Abuja. If you want to say anything with them, come to Abuja. If you want to do anything, come to Abuja. But when they want to get votes, you will see them. They will sit down with you, attend your local matches in Shacha, attend your
this is sounding very
viewing
personal,
center in Monia, or go to Akeson to go and to campaign for votes. But immediately they get into office, they are in Abuja. Using our money to
gallivant,
enjoy the life night and lifestyle in Abuja. It is nonsense. The governance has to be cut down appropriately. Let us have the weekly, monthly allowances. Look at the amount of money they are spending on getting SUVs for these guys.
Very dangerous.
About 120 million, 130 million. We spoke about it on round table here.
Yes.
Those are what we should be looking at. That money should be slashed. When such money is slashed down, you can't tell me that a senator who had done senatorial position for 2 terms does not have an SUV himself.
What of the new guys?
What of the new guys? Those are the things we should be making availabilities for. It is not those ones that have been there.
Not every tenure.
Exactly, not every tenure you are renewing these things for them. When you renew for them every time, when it's just meant for the new ones, then we know that, okay, out of the, let's say, the number of senators that we have in the country, okay, this is the number of senators, we have just 20 new senators, then we know it is 20 new senators that are getting new vehicles. Do you know the money they are getting for wardrobe allowances? Do you know the money they are getting for feeding allowances, for clothing allowances? These are the things that should be properly cut down. Even Mr. President himself, he should take the first this thing by saying that President Bola Tinubu,
I'm scrapping
scrap out what he's earning. Then we will know that he's taking us serious. Because currently he's a joke. Mr. President, you're a joke. If he's not taking us serious by cutting down his own earnings, then we are not going anywhere.
Not just travelings and all.
I'm telling you what is there about traveling. What is there about traveling? Even those people that they are still stopping from traveling, they are still paying them our own money. I'm a taxpayer in this country.
I know.
So it is my money that they are spending anyhow, and it pains to my bones when these things are happening.
I think this is how the average Nigerian feels about this matter. Mr. President, we understand that you are doing this for us, but you know, the big issues, the big guns, the big animals, don't just start looking for mosquito when we have elephants sitting in the room. Don't just start looking for rabbits when we have lions sitting there in the room. If you get into a room and you see 500 animals, you don't start shooting the mosquito there or the tsetse fly there and you say it is dangerous, it causes mosquito, it causes malaria. No, you can't see a lion and a snake sitting in a room and then you start looking for the dog and you say because the dog will bite you. Mr. President, you know what to do. You know what to do. You know what to do. Nigerians are hungry, right, left, and center. Nigerians are hungry. Even those people that you think wear ties, wear suits, go to work. I mean, that's now imagine, you know, I like using examples because the kind of journalism I do is what I call reality journalism. We go there. If the job, if the job takes me to a bush somewhere in Ondo South, I'm there. If the job takes us to somewhere in Ekiti, I'm there. So we see these people. Yesterday we were in one village in Shagamu, and let's just stay with the story because I may just divert. It's really bad. Mr. President, the people you are governing are complaining. If you are going to deal with issues like this, don't deal with it on the peripheral. Don't deal with it on the surface. Deal with it internally and deal with it real good. Very quickly now, we move to the very last topic, which is that the Central Bank of Nigeria, of course, you know that is being led by Mr. Yemi Cardozo, called or known as the headmaster in certain quarters, sacked 3 bank boards yesterday evening. This happened, and the rumor came in yesterday evening, but it was confirmed as at late into yesterday night. Of course, you know why. The private investigator saddled for the responsibility by the federal government, the Tinubu-led federal government, said that these banks had issues, but Titan and Union Bank especially, Union Bank was bought by Titan, so Titan is no longer Titan, it is now Union, and that the Central Bank of Nigeria, led then by Mr. Emefiele, and that he bought that bank and that he only put certain persons there as proxies, and they said that the bank, you know, lots of fraudulent deals had been done in getting the bank. I remember that they bought the bank, a new bank that was less than 5 years, bought a bank as old as Union Bank. And for many persons, that was where the controversy started from. I mean, how did they raise funds? Where did they get monies from? The former Central Bank deputy governor was the one who owned Titan Bank and who bought Union Bank. Of course, I'm talking about another person, Mr. Tunde Lemo. Yes, sir, I got the name correctly. Tunde Lemo was the one in charge. And just this afternoon, the DSS, or the SSS, as the case may be, I invited the former CBN deputy governor and Mrs. Aishat. And this is actually not the first time that the DSS and the security operatives are picking up persons working with the Central Bank of Nigeria. Again, the third story we are talking about today, the third issue that borders on finance, corruption, issues of siphoning. I mean, oh my goodness, how much wrath did Emefiele cause us in our banking system?
The wrath cannot be quantified, because when you read stories, when you go out there, you get information, you get the number of damage that has been done, you just shake your head for the future of this country. This same man manipulated the value of Naira against the dollar for his own selfish interest. This same man starved us of cash in this country for his own selfish interest. Now realizing that the same man appointed proxies to banks to be able to take over banks just for the same selfish and greedy reasons.
So says the investigation.
So says the investigation.
And the private investigator.
And the investigator. Mr. Shegun, I'm saying it here, that the damage is not quantifiable. And I think, I seriously think, and I would credit the administration of President Bola Tinubu on this one, because at the end of the day, you have to realize that this would not have been out if he had not appointed
the private
the
investigator.
investigator to
Sure.
look into these issues. But at the same time, on the streets, word on the street is that the president is also revenging.
No. Let me quickly throw that to Mohammed.
Yeah.
I mean, is this happening to Emefiele because he was not in the same political envelope as the president? If they were in the same political ship, would this be happening? Like he said, is this not some revenge?
Of course, they are all members of APC.
No, the central bank governor is not a party member. Oh, sorry, the former central bank governor is not a member of, yes.
FAPC.
He's not a card-carrying member, or he's not meant to.
He bought some cars he branded now.
He's a
Yeah,
member
people
of
that he
APC.
bought over 1,000 cars there about that he
He wanted
branded
to
for
contest for
APC.
presidency.
That he was even vying
But
was
they-
amongst for the primary.
Did you-
It doesn't mean he's in the same ship with the president.
Did you see pictures of his membership card?
We don't have to see the picture.
Then we don't have a
But there are
fact.
some things we saw.
But we saw- we
we
knew
saw
that
him
he
with branded
wanted
and he was there
to vie
with
for
his picture.
presidency.
Picture.
It could have been done by anybody.
But
Hundreds of vehicles.
We don't have
Branded?
we don't have confirmation. It could have been done by anybody.
Okay.
It could have been done by you for me or anybody for anybody. There's
Okay.
no fact.
Okay. On that
Yeah,
note.
yeah.
On that note, let us just call it what it is. Let us call it a spade. But however, this thing is very funny. You understand? I think it's very funny, and there is need for us in this country to always look at key positions as being the CBN governor, being humanitarian minister, being you people who are being put into that position should be people who are credible candidates. We can't keep putting failures, in a very key position that will determine the economic progress of a country. You understand? Look at the harm Emefiele caused the country, last 2 years back until now. We are still, facing the vestiges of what he has done to us. You understand? I think we shouldn't just, emphasize or capitalize this issue on Emefiele. We should also look at, under whose administration. Who was the Attorney General? Who was the EFCC? If you trace back, if you look at the track records of EFCC in the past, you see that these EFCC people or chairman, they always have link to these people. Before Emefiele takes any decision,
Don't forget that CBN is independent.
Of course, it's independent, but do you believe anything is independent in Nigeria without the influence of the power that be in a position?
After all, the CBN governor is picked by
by the president. Okay, who appointed Cardozo?
the president.
People, sorry to say, this is just I'm just painting it. I will just paint it as what we have heard. You understand? When Cardozo came, people were saying, this is Tinubu's boy. You understand? That is what the streets, what we had on the streets. You understand? I think we are in Nigeria. We are in a country of normlessness. You understand? But however, we have to be very, Mr. President.
You think we are in a country of normlessness?
Of course, this is a normless country. If we are not in a normless country, why will a CBN governor, just take a decision that is against his own country? You understand? Today now, because of the investigation, we're able to, we got that the Tunde, sorry, I think it's called Tunde Lemon, the deputy.
Tunde Lemon.
Yeah, Tunde Lemon. He bought
the ex deputy governor of the
bought
CBN.
a bank.
Yeah.
And then we got to know that there are a lot of funds that have been siphoned from government fund using the bank, as a tool.
Yeah.
Of
In fact, the investigators said that it was Emefiele who was owning the bank through proxies.
But again, there's nothing we do again in Nigeria. Now that all of these things, it has been investigated by a public investigator.
Yeah.
We had
recruited by the federal government.
Thank you. Now we have a private investigator who has even investigated the matter deeply into getting it into adventitious routes, getting it from different angles that if they have done this, they have done that. But why did we take decision like a god in Nigeria, whereby we have to wait, give you first chance, second chance? Why can't now that they are aware that this is it, why can't they just give these people 100 years in jail?
No, it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way. But it works that way. It works that way that millions of Nigerians, because of these people's personal interests and decisions, over 1 million people have died. You understand? Do you think that if we have good leadership, do you think we will
1 million people died where?
I'm not saying not to. We are looking at looking at the killings in Plateau, Boko Haram since Boko Haram.
But that one is not as a result of the CBN.
I know, no. All of these things, they come together. To look at it. You understand? Look at, because we have bad
even if people are not dying, people are hungry. Is
this woman who siphoned 45 billion naira that wasted the money? You understand? Is she not from the north? If that money is being channeled into taking people from from disastrous issues, from problems like that, we did not people have that mentality of coming out that Boko Haram, with the Fulani herdsmen start going all around having internecine war with their brothers who are Nigerians. If Betta is doing well, will the youths in Niger Delta be fighting over one particular way? I think all of these things we have to look at them. And now that it has been investigated that these people, this is what they are doing, they should be arrested, detained, charged to court, and the court should not slow it like political candidature of many people who are coming together to know if they want or they should just take these people. This is what they have done: arrest them, put them in jail, let them serve their jail term.
Mohammed has led us on to the next thing, which is these investigations. We are not strangers when it comes to investigation in Nigeria. EFCC cases are up to, without exaggerating, I think we'll have at least not less than 100, past, present, if not far triple of that. But we all know how it ends up at the end of the day. The investigation happens, it's always more like a slap on the wrist many times. Many of these guys are always working freely. Now, the Tinubu administration has started the same thing. Investigation, this and that. How do we put people in jail? Like Mohammed said, real life jail, not social media jail, real life, and they are there. That person is in so and so prison number, so and so maximum kiniko kiri. How do we do this?
You see, a lot of things is wrong with a lot of system in Nigeria. For example, there is a boy who is in jail, who is meant to be in jail.
Which boy is that?
Using the boy killer man or
Benjamin something.
Benjamin. No. The police apprehended him. The police are investigating, and as much as we have had is with the police. So that example does not flow.
Okay, that example does not flow.
Yes.
But I'm still telling you that in this country, we have investigation. If you remember, Fisher somebody did an investigation that revealed that right in the prison, you can pay a warder and it gets a phone into you inside the prison.
A journalist tweeted yesterday or a few days ago and said that somebody was texting him the front pages of the newspaper of that day from the prison. Yeah.
So it happens. Nigeria is a rotten country.
No, I won't agree with that. I won't agree that
we have rotten systems in Nigeria.
I agree with that.
Do you understand? Yeah. So, and in that case, if almost all our systems are rotten, then our country is rotten.
I won't agree that our country is rotten.
Yeah, I mean, it's your own argument.
It's our country. It's not rotten, Hamid. It's not.
Shegun,
no, it's not rotten.
The judiciary has to properly prosecute these people, appropriately prosecute them, and ensure that their jail terms are given to them appropriately.
We have to ensure that people who are guilty enjoy the privileges of being guilty.
Exactly, they have to enjoy the privilege.
All right,
they
beautiful.
Have to go to jail
beautiful.
And feel the heat of
beautiful. All right, it's been an interesting.
Before we close the show, they have to ensure that their assets too are targeted. Take all the assets from them. I had an interview with the NDLEA recently. Femi was saying when they catch drug lords, they don't only prosecute them and send them to jail, they go after their assets as well. When these politicians are arrested, let them send them to jail, go after their assets, sell their assets, forfeit it to the government, and government use the money for the masses.
It's been an interesting oh my goodness. It's been an interesting session here on this episode of the Roundtable. Hamid and Mohammed are always eating up this room, and at some point you don't even feel the air conditioners anymore because of how hot it gets in the studio. It's been a very, very wonderful package with you guys, our audience out there, making it more interesting. And special thanks to the guys pressing the right buttons, pushing the right things, ensuring the right frames are making this program worth the while for you out there. Produced by Olalekan Olabode, Sulaiman Adeni specifically produced this show. Melanie Shola making the right calls, shifting off her frame, increasing her glasses here and there, and ensuring that this whole thing is wonderfully done. Also, Margaret, yes, Margaret has also been behind the scenes, ensuring that everything. You wanted to say something? Yeah, Margaret Osazua, of course, yes. Yeah, he's doing well for the show. And Olalekan as well here. Forgive me if I missed a part of your name, but ensuring that everything is done rightly. Mohamed Lawal, Hamid Fateh, on behalf of them, my name is Shegun Odwayo, saying have yourselves a fantastic Thursday. And as the weekend begins tomorrow, stay away from trouble. May you not be weakened by the weekend. Bye for now.